Hey everybody, welcome to Policy G, take it from me. So a lot of people have been asking me so far a bunch of questions about the coronavirus thing and how does that relate to governance and policy governance in particular. If you are using policy governance, you already have a system inside which to deal with this whole thing. Because you're using policy governance, well, if you are, you have a built-in risk management or risk governance system. You've started off by anticipating anything the board would be worried about, and you have specified all of that stuff in your executive limitations. So I want to talk to CEOs first. You probably need to take a good look at your treatment of staff policies right now and your treatment of members or stakeholders or people, whatever sort of treatment of people policies you have. Take a really good close look at those and your interpretations of those policies, and make sure that what you're doing is essentially consistent with what those policies say and with what your interpretations of those policies say. Another set of policies you're going to want to look at is your financial ones. Probably financial planning and budgeting could be affected here, asset protection and financial condition and activities. And then lastly, but actually really important right now, is assuming you have a communication and support to the board policy. That policy probably says something in there about making sure the board is aware when you anticipate non-compliance with any policy. And it also specifies what information you need to give the board. Usually there's something in there about letting the board be aware of anticipated material internal or external changes. So now is the time. Don't wait until monitoring reports are due to let the board know, oh, we're out of compliance because of the whole virus thing. But rather let them know now that you anticipate being out of compliance on various financial policies or whatever because of the whole crisis happening right now. So do that now. Let the board know now if you anticipate being out of compliance. I know a lot of organizations are seeing their conferences go poof and or potentially go away, and those are usually a big source of revenue for organizations. So if you think that you're going to be missing a lot of anticipated revenue, let the board know about that now. Don't wait. It doesn't have to be complicated either. Just send them an email and just say, hey, pursuant to policy, EL 2.8.1 or whatever it is, I am just letting you know that I anticipate being out of compliance with this, and this policy. All right, so that's the main message for CEOs and executive directors. Now for boards, there's a few things you want to look at as well. Certainly stay the course, continue using policy governance. Take a look at your bylaws and make sure that you can continue to meet and govern effectively based on sort of the requirements that are in your bylaws about frequency of meetings and quorum and all of that. Then you might want to take a look at your board job description and refresh your memories on what you committed to do. Definitely stay the course in terms of being in governance mode. Do not give up governance mode or policy governance in order to delve into the management of the organization. Sure, certainly individual board members can choose to help the CEO or the executive director if they've been asked, and they can go into that mode as a volunteer staff person. But as a board, you have to really totally focus on your governance responsibilities, because after all, if the board isn't governing, then who is? And your owners, members, whatever, your communities need you to govern right now. You might want to take a look at some of the executive limitations and see that they continue to say what you need them to say. You can probably expect to receive communications from your CEO on anticipated non-compliance, and make sure to double check the interpretations of the policies that are being reported. And the other thing, speaking of interpretations and monitoring, you might want to take a look at your monitoring schedule and see if you need to be more flexible with the monitoring schedule in terms of some reports, and perhaps focus, have more of a laser focus on some other policies where you really kind of do need to take a closer look at them right now. So your monitoring schedule, keeping in mind the crisis management mode that everyone's in, and the fact that your CEO and staff might have to divert resources to certain core tasks. Take a look at the monitoring schedule, because there's a cost associated with monitoring, and if it seems to make sense to lessen the burden in some respects of the monitoring schedule for now and focus more on others, then that's probably something you could look at. Overall, boards totally remain focused on your governance function, and in fact, make sure that your board meeting agendas are really, really laser focused on the core of your governance function, i.e. ownership linkage, policy creation, and policy decisions, and monitoring policy compliance. So that's all for now. Please feel free to send me your questions, or if you want a coaching session with me to go over some more specifics relevant to your organization, please do. That's relatively easy. Just sign up on my website, www.browndogconsulting.com, and you can schedule a one-on-one chat with me through my website.